8:23 City Health Time. Always love having Dr. Yvette Lu on the BT Couch. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, you're telling us about something that is very, very relevant and, interestingly enough, year-round, because we do have sun exposure year-round, but specifically at this time of year when UV indexes are so high. Let's talk about how the skin deals with UV and what we're looking for when it comes to signs of skin cancer.
So UV rays come from the sun and they hit the skin. Now, when the UV rays hit the skin, there's a pigment in our skin called melanin. That's the pigment that causes certain skins to be darker than other skin colors. The melanin actually takes the UV energy and changes it into heat. It dissipates it so that it can't damage the DNA. But if you stay longer in the sun, what happens is that the UV energy starts to damage the DNA and you start to get skin damage. If you get the skin damage, then what happens next is the body tries to repair the damage. It tries to address the damage. So that's when you get increased blood flow to the area that causes redness, an inflammatory reaction that causes a swelling and pain and stuff like that.
Now, to people who say, oh, I'm getting used to the sun. I'm going to go out and I'm going to get my base. And then once I have a base, I'm protected.
Okay, so the base is what happens when you get the skin damage is the body stimulates the melanocytes, which is a certain type of cell, to create more melanin. So you actually have to get the damage first to get more melanin. And then when you get the more melanin, that's when you get the tan. So you can't get a tan without skin damage.
Okay, so that's interesting for people who say, oh, I tan super easily. I don't have that problem. I won't be concerned. We are concerned, and we do need to use sunscreen no matter what.
Yes.
And then we also need to be checking our skin. How often for...
I usually say once a month. Just check your skin. Remember to check even the parts of your body that aren't exposed to the sun, because you can get skin cancer in those areas. And then unusual places like the bottoms of your feet and between your toes, because you can get moles there too.
Wow, okay, so what are we looking for when we are looking at moles? Because everybody's got, you know, spots and abnormalities. We don't want to be panicked about these things, but it should be at our yearly physical, or do we need to go to a dermatologist?
No, you can, well, first you can check your moles yourself. So check them every month, and I tell people to look for the A, B, C, D, E signs of moles.
All right, take us through those.
Okay,
Would you mind?
Yes, so it's really easy. So A means asymmetry. So if one side of the mole looks different from the other side, that means it's suspicious. B is for border. If the border is irregular, that's a suspicious mole. C is for color. Generally, normal moles are just one color. If there's a lot of different types of colors in the mole, then that's abnormal. D is for diameter. If the mole is greater than 6 millimeters, then you should get it checked out by your doctor. And E is for evolving. So if the mole is changing in any way, if it's increasing in size, if it's changing in color, if it's bleeding, or if it becomes an ulcer, then you need to get help. So A, B, C, D, E, any of these changes, go seek attention.
All right, so if we do see something that looks like it might be a sort of a beauty spot or a brown spot that all of a sudden is itchy or affected, are we looking at that as something to be concerned about, or is that a different skin ailment?
It's just, if you're not sure if there's something changing on your skin, it's good to get it checked out. And your family doctor will be able to have a look and tell you if it's normal or abnormal. And if your family doctor is unsure, we can always do a biopsy. So just take a little segment of the mole or take out the whole mole and see, or we can send you to a dermatologist where they can look at the mole with a special magnifying scope.
Everybody who hears the word biopsy goes, oh my God, that sounds so scary. But seriously, 3 people in my family have had skin biopsies and then had small abnormalities removed. And basal cell carcinoma is very different from what is the more dangerous melanoma.
Yeah.
Tell us the difference between the two.
So basal cell carcinoma and squamous cell carcinoma, those ones are definitely triggered by sunburns cause those skin cancers, and those ones generally stay more local. They're not as dangerous. Of course, any kind of cancer is dangerous, so it's still important to be concerned. And then melanomas are often associated with genetics, so they run in families. They're also associated with deep blistering sunburns, so those can increase your risk for melanoma. And those are the ones that spread really quickly. Those are usually dark moles that are increasing in size. So those pictures of moles that we saw earlier.
Now, what you said about deep blistering sunburns, if at some point in your life you had a remarkably bad sunburn experience, are you more likely to get one or both types of this? Yes,
definitely. So the sort of shallower sunburns increase your risk of the basal and squamous cell cancer, and then the deeper sunburn that reaches down to the deeper layers of the skin increases your risk of melanoma. Even just one sunburn can increase your risk.
And last but not least, Dr. Yvette Lu, tell us, in no uncertain terms, when it comes to UV sunbeds, people say, oh no, I have to do that just a few times before I go to Maui or I'll burn. When is it safe to use those beds?
Those beds are not safe. Those beds cause skin damage. So maybe get a self-tan or a spray tan if you really need to have a tan.
There you go. You heard it from the doctor herself. Get the spray tan and fake it. Don't fake and bake it, all right? Healthlinkbc.ca for more information. Always great to have you on. Dr. Yvette Lu.